China is quietly reshaping how long-range air operations could work across the Indo-Pacific, and the signal isn't coming from one aircraft, but two. This video explores why China is developing both the H-20 and the JHXX at the same time, how analysts reach these conclusions, and why this matters far beyond aviation. By the end, you'll see how this move reflects a deeper shift in planning, capability, and long-term intent. China's choice to pursue two separate stealth bomber programs simultaneously is not accidental, nor is it inefficient. It reflects a clear understanding that long-range air capability is no longer about having a single flagship platform, but about building a layered and flexible system. Analysts began reaching this conclusion by comparing satellite imagery, official defense assessments, and the timing of public disclosures, which together point to a coordinated strategy rather than isolated projects. The Xi'an H-20 represents China's effort to establish a true long-range, low-visibility aircraft designed for extended reach. Pentagon assessments and open-source analysis consistently describe it as a flying-wing platform optimized for endurance and reduced detection rather than speed. This design choice is important. It suggests that the aircraft's value lies in its ability to operate across wide distances while remaining difficult to track, allowing planners to consider options that were previously unavailable. At the same time, the JHXX appears to serve a different purpose. Evidence supporting its development comes from industrial facility observations and repeated analyst consensus rather than formal announcements. The prevailing view is that this aircraft is intended for regional operations, filling the gap between shorter-range aircraft and strategic platforms. Developing both platforms together solves a practical problem. Relying on a single type of aircraft for all missions creates operational strain and limits flexibility. By separating roles, China can allocate resources more efficiently while maintaining a consistent level of capability across different operational needs. This approach mirrors a broader trend in modern aerospace planning, where specialization enhances resilience rather than reducing it. What makes this especially notable is the confidence required to pursue both programs at once. Stealth aircraft demand advanced materials, precise manufacturing, and sophisticated systems integration. Attempting two such programs in parallel indicates that Chinese planners believe the industrial and technical foundations are already mature enough to support them. That confidence itself is a key finding drawn from the available data. One of the most important outcomes of introducing stealth bombers into an air fleet is how they change the meaning of distance. Unlike traditional long-range systems, these aircraft introduce flexibility into planning because they can adjust routes, timing, and presence. Analysts reach this conclusion by comparing bomber operations globally and examining how similar platforms elsewhere reshaped long-range air strategy over time. The H-20, in particular, is expected to extend China's ability to operate across broader areas without relying solely on fixed trajectories. This matters because predictability has long been a defining feature of long-range planning. When systems follow known paths, defenses and responses can be optimized accordingly. Stealth aircraft complicate this by introducing uncertainty, which forces planners to consider a wider range of possibilities rather than a single expected scenario. The importance of this shift lies not in constant use, but in potential. Even infrequent operations can influence planning across an entire region. Facilities, logistics networks, and coordination structures must all account for platforms that can approach from multiple directions and operate at varying ranges. This requirement reshapes how infrastructure is designed and how resources are allocated over time. Another key factor is integration. Modern stealth aircraft do not operate alone. They are supported by sensors, communication systems, and coordination platforms that extend their awareness and effectiveness. Analysts have noted that China's recent emphasis on integrated aerospace systems suggests these bombers would function as part of a broader network rather than as independent assets. That networked approach amplifies their significance far beyond the aircraft themselves. Crucially, this development does not replace existing systems, it complements them. Long-range aircraft add a human-controlled, adaptable element to planning that automated systems cannot fully replicate. This combination provides planners with options rather than fixed outcomes, which is increasingly valuable in complex environments. What emerges from this analysis is a clear pattern. These aircraft are less about immediate action and more about shaping the strategic landscape. By altering assumptions about reach and flexibility, they encourage long-term adjustments across the region. The introduction of new long-range stealth platforms creates challenges that extend beyond aviation. One of the most immediate impacts is on infrastructure planning. Fixed locations, once considered comfortably distant from potential reach, now require additional consideration. Analysts identified this trend by examining how planning documents increasingly emphasize mobility, redundancy, and adaptability. Rather than concentrating resources in a small number of large facilities, planners are now exploring more distributed models. Smaller, flexible operating locations reduce reliance on any single site and improve resilience. While this approach introduces logistical complexity, it also aligns better with an environment shaped by uncertainty rather than predictability. Detection and monitoring systems also face new demands. Low-visibility aircraft require layered sensing approaches that combine multiple data sources rather than relying on a single technology. This shift has increased attention on integration, coordination, and information sharing across different domains. The challenge is not simply seeing farther, but understanding patterns, context, and intent with greater clarity. Another important adjustment involves planning timelines. Developing responses to emerging capabilities takes years, not months. Budget cycles, training programs, and infrastructure upgrades all operate on long horizons. The fact that these discussions are already underway highlights how seriously analysts view the long-term implications involved. What stands out most is that these changes are driven by potential rather than deployment. The aircraft does not need to be fully operational to influence decisions. Anticipated capabilities alone are sufficient to prompt reassessment across multiple institutions and planning communities. As this process unfolds, organizational culture itself begins to shift toward flexibility, experimentation, and continuous learning. Planning increasingly favors simulation, collaboration, and adaptive thinking over rigid assumptions or static expectations. Institutions are encouraged to test ideas early, revise concepts frequently, and remain responsive to new information. These behavioral shifts may prove more consequential than any single platform because they shape long-term decision quality. Ultimately, adaptability becomes the central requirement for navigating environments defined by uncertainty and constant change. No single system or platform defines the future. Resilience instead emerges from revising assumptions, absorbing complexity, and refining planning frameworks over time. China's development of both the H-20 and the JHXX is best understood as a strategic signal rather than a sudden transformation. By building a layered, flexible air capability, China is preparing for long-term influence rather than short-term impact. The findings highlighted in this video demonstrate how analysts arrived at these conclusions and why they are significant for regional planning. This is not about a single aircraft or a single moment, but about how emerging capabilities reshape assumptions over time. Understanding that shift is essential for grasping what comes next. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on space exploration and scientific discoveries, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Also, you can visit our website, SpaceEyeNews.com. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.